Welcome to Countdown to Kickoff, presented by UT Knoxville alumni and Tennessee Athletics. Happy Big Orange Friday, and thank you so much for joining us for our virtual pep rally. I am Jason Swain, former Tennessee football player, UT alum, and host of the Swain event. This event would not be possible without our partners and sponsors, including Coca-Cola, Farm Bureau, First Horizon, Food City, Graduate Knoxville, Graphic Creations, One Riverwalk, Pilot Company, Threads, and UT Medical Center. Today's highlights include an interview with former player and NFL analyst Charles Davis, remarks from Chancellor Don D. Plowman, the Maxims game tradition, a missions update, recipe and demonstration from Chef Tyler White, and more. So let's get started today. I am honored to have former player and NFL analyst Charles Davis with us today. Charles is a true Tennessee treasure and is always representing the Big Orange. Before Charles joins us today, let's take a look back at his career. Charles Davis is with us today. VFL, Charles Davis, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jason. This is always how do you say it? It is always a thrill to be in Big Orange Country, even if I'm not physically there. But I know I'm in Big Orange Country. I'm with you. I'm good.
Absolutely, absolutely. When you think about your playing days, and we just finished up watching the highlight film of you and your playing days, what comes to mind?
Oh, boy. Well, camaraderie first and foremost, and I remember being young, and I think you probably went through the same thing. Tell me if I'm wrong. When you would hear about people talk about what they miss most when they were done playing, and they would talk about their teammates, their coaches, the camaraderie, the shared experience, and all that, were there times when you thought to yourself, how come no one talks about when we beat Alabama? Or how come no one talks about when we won championships, right? How come that's the first thing? And then we get to be a certain age and we figure it out, right? Because that's where I am, right? I'm 56 now. And it is those time frames, the things that pop in my mind first. Sometimes there are two a day, something someone said in the locker room or something someone did on the practice field or on a trip. Yeah, winning games, beating Alabama, winning an SEC championship. Those things are huge. Don't get me wrong. But the things that pop in my mind first are much more the day-to-day, the interactions, my brothers, and when you get older, it's really intense then. It is really big, especially when you lose someone too soon and you realize we're all together. That's tough. But it also brings you that, we're all together, and that matters.
Absolutely. Obviously, the goal is winning every single game, but you're gonna lose some. And one thing that you're gonna do, winning and losing, you're gonna do it together.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that I miss about Tennessee football and being on that team is the guys, the fellas, the relationships, the camaraderie that you just mentioned. Charles, each and every year, Tennessee has players that are looking towards the NFL. That's the ultimate goal. That's why you come to Tennessee. And some years it's better than others as far as the numbers that we have been able to put in the NFL. But this year there's a good group of players on this squad, and obviously the team that wins the most have the most players. This year has been unique with COVID and kind of the results so far. You did work covering NFL prospects, covering the combine. You've seen players from winning teams, winning programs, not so much. What's some advice you would give these players on this football team that have NFL aspirations, who are good enough to play, but the results are not necessarily there for them the way they would want? What kind of focus, what kind of advice you would give them?
Yeah, it's a great question, Jason. The bottom line is winning games, playing the best you can play, doing your job for Tennessee is going to be something that the pro scouts are going to identify early. They're going to figure that out early. You know, the me players who, okay, so the team's struggling, but I'm still going to get mine. That comes out. And while it may not disqualify you from being drafted, because there's always someone in the league that goes, well, I can make that work. Okay, it's just how it goes. It does hurt you across the board. If you've got one of those programs, those organizations, they're not down with it, that's going to hurt you. And you may even get taken off of their board. People have no idea what happens in a draft room and how prospects get evaluated and the stuff they go through and the pitch debates that happen behind closed doors about certain ones. So focus on doing the best you can, being the best player you can for Tennessee. Focus on winning games for Tennessee, and everything will fall out from there. That's what pro scouts are going to hear about when they walk in and they ask the head coach, when they ask the strength coach, when they set up down at Gus's, talk to the people at Gus's, deli, Good Times Deli. Hey, I hear Davis likes to come in here and eat. What's he like? People can't wait to tell you these sorts of things. People can't wait to tell perfect strangers. There's this old story, and I'll be real quick about this. There was a first-round pick in the NFL a bunch of years ago, and word leaked out that he liked to hit the bars a little bit too much. So one organization that really, really liked him as a player sent a scout anonymously to that person's town, to where they went to school. They stayed there for 10 days. They had heard about his so-called schedule. And they went and did the schedule for 10 days, and he hit those spots just like they'd been advertised. He went back, reported that, and they took him off their draft board.
Wow.
So all I'm saying is everything you do gets evaluated. You'd be surprised at what they learn about you along the way. So do all the right things, make the good decisions, but give your best efforts for your school first, and everything falls out from there.
Tennessee's playing Auburn this weekend, and we know about Gus Malzahn and how he likes to run his offense. And for so long, Charles, the NFL did things their way as far as style of play. College football did their things their way as far as style of play. But in the last few years, we've seen, the games kind of intertwine. And we've seen the Wildcat a couple of years ago, and I think that's kind of been figured out, but we still see it from time to time. But we see the up-tempo offense with Chip Kelly coming in the league a couple of years ago. But it's something that Auburn does. They've been really successful. What does it take for defense to have success against an up-tempo offense like an Auburn?
Well, you got to have players, we were calling them hybrids. The NFL has moved to the term positionless players now, because we're always trying to find something that sounds cool, right? Trying to find these buzzwords. Yeah. But hybrid players who can play multiple things depending on down and distance and defense call. You need to have quick answers to everything that gets presented in a very short amount of time when you're playing these up-tempo offenses, because substituting isn't the way isn't always permitted. Because as fast as they go, if they want to keep your defense on the field, they can just stay on the line of scrimmage. And now if you substitute, they'll throw something fast and beat you. But if you don't substitute, okay, can you get into whatever defense you want to as fast as they can? Because the only time they're going to let you substitute is if they substitute. So if they decide not to and just go fast, that's what you have to have. So guys who are strong safeties, can they fit an outside linebacker spot? Right? Can the outside linebackers put a hand down and go be a defensive end and rush the quarterback? Can your middle linebacker cover as well as thump in the running game? Can your safeties be mirrors, as I like to call them? Can it be a strong safety one snap, a free safety the next snap? All of those things, that's what we're looking for. That's what we're recruiting. That's what we're playing. And frankly, that's what we're giving the NFL now. I was at the Combine last year, Jason, and I get to go every year, fortunately, for what I do. A guy handed me something, an NFL executive, and he said, this is what I did over the last 10 years. I measured heights and weights at every position on defense. He said, what do you notice over the last 10 years? A decline in weight just about everywhere, because smaller players are staying on the field longer. The Terrence Cody's, remember Big Mount Cody from Alabama?
Yes.
there aren't many of those. If you could only be on the field for 1 or 2 downs, meaning I can play the run, you're not going to be on the field very often. So they don't look for those guys anymore. Can you rush the passer as a defensive lineman? Can you stay on the field? That's what you have to have when you play in these up-tempo offenses like Gus Malzahn presents, because that's just the way it is. And the NFL is seeing more of that, although NFL rules and the way things go, and another VFL, Terry Brown, who's an official in the NFL, he can co-sign on this one. The NFL will only let you play so fast, okay, the way that they do things mechanically with the officials. But still, we are seeing a quicker tempo in the NFL as well.
Charles, when I mentioned Coach Johnny Majors, and we lost a good one in Coach, and I've obviously played after you, so all I hear is amazing stories. I've had Coach Majors on my show before, and so I just turn the mic on, ask him a question, and just sit back.
Get out of the way.
Exactly, get out of the way and listen. But how does Coach Majors live with you every single day, and with you doing what you're doing right now?
Yeah, I hear him every single day, Jason. I hear him, and I've heard his voice. I see his mannerisms. His lessons come to mind in different things in different ways. And it's funny, I read a book, growing up, the Green Bay Packers were, really huge in terms of myth and lore because of Vince Lombardi. Vince Lombardi is that legendary coaching figure, that drove the players, and just jumped on them all the time, was always yelling at them, but they loved the man. I mean, there are very, very few Packers that played for Lombardi that would have ever told you they did not like playing for him, that they want, they love that man. I mean, universally. And I feel like it's similar to that for me and Coach Majors, It wasn't like everything he told me was wonderful. He jumped on me pretty hard many a time. I mean, the Sun Bowl in 1984 seared into me when I gave up a touchdown pass. And what he said then, just, Christmas just went right out the window for me. But he cared. He did care about me, and I knew that, and that was big. And as time went on, and I got to be more of a friend, not just a former player, it was huge for me. And so that Packers thing I brought up, there was a player who said at one point, I love my father. My father means everything to me. He's been dead a long time now. I don't think of him every day. I think of Vince Lombardi every day. That speaks volumes. From the day I reported to Knoxville, Tennessee in late July, August of 1982, Jason, there hasn't been a single day that a Johnny Majors thought has not run through my mind. I'm firmly convinced of that. And I know it'll be that way until my time comes, because that's the influence he's had on me.
Wow. Charles Davis, VFL, always representing Tennessee the right way. Sporting the hat right here. You see him on TV. He's always wearing a little orange, always mentioning Tennessee. And we just appreciate you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thank you for having me, Jason. I appreciate you for representing Tennessee the right way and every single day. You did it as a player, as a student athlete, as a person now. Thank you. Thanks to everyone in Big Orange Country, everyone who loves Tennessee. The reason I love Tennessee so much is the people. It's the people around it who supported us and continue to support us and continue to believe in Big Orange. And we'll always believe in the Big Orange, because we're gonna get it right again. I know we will.
That's right. Thank you so much, Charles.
Thank you, Jason. Take care. Go Vols.
Right. Thank you. Great to hear from Charles Davis. Next, let's hear from Chancellor Plowman.
Hey Vols, happy Big Orange Friday. This is an exciting weekend on Rocky Top as we are celebrating our 2020 spring, summer, and fall graduates with commencement exercises. This has been such a challenging year, and one that we truly never imagined. When we had to postpone commencement this past spring, we shared with our seniors and their families that we were committed to celebrating their accomplishments when we were able to, face-to-face, and provide a safe and healthy environment to do that. I'm proud of the resilience and hard work that our seniors have shown every day as they have worked towards finishing their degree here at the University of Tennessee. I'm grateful to our staff who've worked diligently to ensure that we have a safe celebration. While it will look different with mask wearing and social distancing, we will be together to celebrate this exciting time for our graduates and their families. I will be cheering for our Vols from Knoxville as they take on the Auburn Tigers. Stay safe and healthy. Go Vols.
Chancellor Plowman, thank you so much for joining us, and it's always great to hear from you. And congratulations to our graduates that are graduating this weekend. In today's clip of the week, we revisit the big win against Auburn in 2018 on the road.
Guys, we talked about it all week, okay? It's time for us to be at our best, okay? Be at our best on every play. We're playing one play at a time. We're going to execute. We're going to play together. All right, we're going to play with toughness, all right, and we ain't quitting. You got me? From the first snap to the last snap, okay? There ain't nobody in the country going to have more energy today than the people in this room.
Here's a chance for Tennessee to snap that 11-game conference losing streak against a team that seems somewhat vulnerable.
It's a great catch, Marquez Callaway.
Garantano over the middle. Ty Chandler. It's a race to the end zone, and he wins it. And it's picked off. Picked off and dropped at the 40-yard line. Jonathan Conbo.
Looking to throw, being pressured again, and they got him back at the 15-yard line. The ball's free. Tennessee comes into the end zone with it. Caught. Juwan Jennings gets it.
Stidham will be dropped. Tennessee is going to snap their 11-game conference losing streak.
They come to Auburn, and they beat the Tigers. The final score today, Tennessee 30, Auburn 24.
It's never going to change. It's never going to change, okay? All right, but the thing we're learning to do is we're learning to fight. It takes people with character and want to, and some damn fight. Does that make sense? Yes, sir. All right. It'll be about the people in this room. Does everybody understand that? Yes, sir. All right. Tennessee on 3. 1, 2, 3. Tennessee!
Tennessee was an underdog in 2018, and Tennessee will be an underdog tomorrow when Tennessee plays Auburn. So hopefully we're looking at another video in the future about a big orange Tennessee win. If they follow those 7-game maxims, and I remember reciting those every single game, and it is true as true can be. You know, Tennessee can follow these game maximums. They'll have a chance to win this football game. They will win this football game. And so let's take a look and learn more about the history of the game maxims.
General Robert Neyland was a respected military tactician as well as a legendary football coach who was known for his defensive prowess and innovation. Speaking of innovation, in the 1930s, General Neyland began having his volunteer teams recite 7 principles that he believed summarized what it took to win a game. He felt that if you followed all of these rules, you would never lose. These rules came to be known as the 7 maxims of football.
The team makes few mistakes win. Play for make breaks, one must always score. If it hurts, game the breaks will get you, don't let up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. Ball, option, cover, block, cut, side, 2 games after this win it is. Press cheating game, we're here for the breaks made. Carry by the team every 60 minutes.
To this day, volunteer teams still recite the maxims before every game.
Do you think that you or your team has what it takes to be a Vol? Can you give your all for Tennessee? Do you want to rep the orange and white? Well, this is your chance to prove that you have what it takes to be a Vol by purchasing the Vol in Training package presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Each package includes an exclusive Vol in Training t-shirt, $10 gift card to Academy, also access to warm-up and training guides from the Vols, plus access to behind-the-scenes content with the Vol Access Game Day Pass. To start your path to becoming a Vol, visit allvols.com to purchase your Vol in Training package today. Now, I want to introduce Associate Director of Freshman Recruitment, Clayton Alexander.
Hey, thanks, Jason. Greetings, everyone, from Rocky Top and the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. In spite of a global pandemic, we welcome the largest freshman class in the university's history, and I am proud to report that we are still witnessing more students wanting to study at UT. Currently, we're up in applications overall by almost 11% compared to this time last year. We're also attracting more future Vols than ever before from outside the state of Tennessee, as we're up 26% in applications from non-residents. And by the way, the academic profile of these applicants is also higher. You should know that we have one more application deadline coming up, and that's our December 15th regular admissions deadline. This deadline is important because all students who submit their application by this date are still eligible, if they meet the qualifications, for our merit-based scholarships, such as the Volunteer, Tennessee Explore, and Beacon scholarships. While my team exists both on campus and across the state of Tennessee, there are also 16 admissions reps located across the U.S., recruiting future Vols in states like California, Colorado, Texas, Illinois, Ohio, New York, and Rhode Island, and of course, multiple states here in the Southeast. But we couldn't do it without your help. I want to encourage Vol Nation and VFLs everywhere to wear their orange, display the Power T, and tell your UT story. I believe students consider studying at UT not only because of our acclaimed academics, but for our rich history, traditions, school spirit, and you. Big Orange Country is truly like no other. So if you know of any students who you would love to see become volunteers, please let us know, or instruct them to create a VIP account. That stands for Vol in Progress. Just direct them to vip.utk.edu. Thanks so much, and go Vols.
Thank you so much, Clayton. And we may be in the midst of a pandemic, but that hasn't stopped our admissions office from recruiting future classes of volunteers. So thank you so much, Clay. Awesome job. I want to sign up to be a Vol all over again if I could. So thank you so much. Let's hear from Associate Vice Chancellor for Alumni Affairs, Dwayne Wiles. Dwayne?
Hey, thank you, Jason. And before the game tomorrow against those Tigers, let me share with our audience how they can be proud, be involved, and be invested in UT. Be proud. And you heard this from Clayton a few minutes ago, by showing your Big Orange spirit and wearing your orange every Friday. Or if you want to, you can wear it every day. Be involved by advocating for UT. We have thousands of alumni, employees, students, and friends currently serving as advocates, all sharing with our elected officials why they believe in the university's value for all Tennesseans. Your voice matters. And together, we can make a difference. So become an advocate today. And lastly, be invested by making a gift of any size this year. So many of our alumni, friends, and fans made gifts earlier this week to help us reach our goal of $2.5 million in 24 hours as part of Big Orange Give, our annual day of giving. We are so thankful that the Volunteer Nation came together to benefit our students and our university. Thanks for having me again, Jason. You know, it's always a pleasure seeing you, buddy. I can't wait for the game tomorrow, and go Big Orange.
Thank you so much, Dwayne. Thank you for all your donations, Vol Nation. I really, really appreciate that during Big Orange Give. It was awesome to see the momentum, the excitement during Big Orange Give. Now it's time to get to my favorite time of the show here, and that is cooking with Chef Tyler White from the UT Culinary Institute. And today, Chef White will demonstrate how to make cornbread panzanella. Tyler, take it away.
Hi, I'm Chef Tyler with UT Culinary Institute. I'm here today to show you guys how to make a cornbread panzanella for your tailgate. We're going to start by making a really simple vinaigrette. We're going to use red wine vinegar, Italian herbs with a little bit of salt and crushed red pepper. And we're going to whisk in some vegetable oil or canola oil. You can use olive oil if you want. This is not going to make an emulsification, so don't sit here and stir all day. Okay. We'll set our dressing to the side and we'll pull our cornbread out. We cut our cornbread into about 1-inch cubes. This is leftover cornbread that we had from a previous event. We're going to add to our cornbread some cherry tomatoes that we cut in half, and we chose the heirloom tomatoes. We have yellow and red and purple. We're going to add sliced red onion. Shaved Parmesan cheese. Baby arugula. We sub the arugula for the basil that we would see in a classic Italian panzanella. From here, we're going to take our quick dressing, pour it on top. And gently give this a nice mix. You don't want to use a spoon or tongs. It will break the cornbread down. It's not quite as strong as an Italian bread or a French bread would be. The goal is to get our dressing fully coated on all of the cornbread. I like to cut my cornbread a little bit bigger to start, knowing that as I'm mixing, some of them are going to break down a little bit. That lets me have some big chunks of cornbread still at the end. Okay. To plate this, we're going to take a large bowl. Okay. Add all our ingredients. For this recipe, go to alumni.utk.edu/countdown and go Vols.
Thank you so much, Chef White. May have to try that recipe. That's a good one right there. That's a new one for the Swain family to try. Before we end today, I want to give a huge congratulations to Johnny Durden and Audrey Abel. They were our Vol fans of the week. So congratulations to you two. Do you want to be a winner next week? Well, if you want to, all you have to do is follow Tennessee Alumni on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram for details on how to win. And be sure to join me next Friday as we count down to kickoff to Vanderbilt. I will be live at 12:30, streaming on Facebook and on YouTube. And don't forget to tune in into tomorrow's game as Tennessee takes on Auburn at 7 p.m. on ESPN. Go Big Orange. Have a great weekend.